Come on, Dan, I'm just joshing with you. Let me get you a boba.
Never had a boba tea in my life, by the way. Never had one.
Really?
Yeah, never had a boba tea. Didn't even know what they were.
Angela, get LaRusso a boba.
No thanks, Angela.
We got a 2-time karate champ over here. I guess I should be worried.
Well, the thing is, you play so many crafty, clever, and dare I say, conniving characters. I know a lot of people right now are itching to hear about your experience as Tom Cole on Cobra Kai. Is there something that you feel like people need to know about Tom Cole that maybe isn't apparent directly by watching these scenes?
Well, you said something interesting about I play these kind of crafty, kind of villain-esque type of characters. They're unbelievably fun to play. And I always try to find, when I play them, the other underlying note is to be likable, being a villain. And that's because it makes the audience member go, I can't wait to see what he's going to say next. Also, too, because of my physical height and presence, I'm 5'7". I'm not a very gigantic kind of guy, so I don't really pose any physical threat. So I like to find his snarkiness and villainness comes from his use of language and being a smart aleck and being conniving and being deceptive that way, but also being humorous about it because I really enjoy turning the screws on people.
You want to buy our dealership?
Christmas came early, Danny boy.
I can't do it physically. I do it emotionally or, through words. So the thing I loved about what they did with Tom Cole was because Daniel LaRusso, Ralph, is a karate master, he could take me out in a second. But my skill is I go underneath and I get to him, by just kind of poking at him.
You sure I can't get you a boba?
I'm fine.
All right. I guess you must be full after eating all that dick.
But it's from an audience perspective, I like to play characters that are fun to watch, that are evil, not inherently evil, but just, the guy you just, if I could just get alone in a room with him for 3 seconds just to punch him. And I'm like, punch me with like the cops standing behind me. Go ahead, take a shot. It's that kind of thing where it's like, those characters, I'm always drawn to them because if you find the likability factor, the human side of him, the reason why he is like that is because he can't physically stand up. I can't take people on physically. So that is kind of attuned to why I think I get these roles, because being a small kid, being the shortest kid in class growing up my entire life in grade school, I wasn't bullied per se, but I was an easy target. And the only way to get out of it was to be funny. So it's like, don't beat up Shatraw. He's funny. He's fine. He's not, just don't hit Shatraw. Let's invite him because he's funny. We can pick on him, but don't hit him. So that kind of comes through with my performance, especially with this guy, because he's, so blatantly.
You're not really a karate guy.
Actually, I was 2-time All-Valley champ.
Whoa, did you hear that, everybody? We got a 2-time karate champ over here. I guess I should be worried.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Deuce clown.
Well, the thing is, for me, and it's not just the last name. He is like one of my favorite characters. I love him for all those reasons you talk about, that he's relatable, he's likable, but he's kind of a pain. It's wonderful. And I just wanted to kind of get your perspective on, how did you get involved in this? And did you have a clue that this series would become as popular as it has?
First question first, I got involved in this the same way any show that I get. I got a agent called and said, I have an audition for you. I went in, they got the sides, went in and prepared and read for casting. And here in LA, and it got sent off to the fellas in Atlanta where they were shooting it, and they picked me. And then they just called me back and said, yeah, here's the shooting dates, here's the airline ticket, show up, have fun. And I thought it was a one and done. I didn't realize there was going to be extra episodes. Did I think it was going to be huge? Yeah. I thought, based on what's been happening since the pre-pandemic and pandemic, there seems to be this outpour of doing reboots, as they call them, to get, old shows that were favorites back on the air. I mean, Karate Kid it was a massive show when I was younger. Ralph and I are the same age. So when it came out, I watched it and could totally relate. I was an East Coast kid. I grew up in Albany, New York, and lived in New York pretty much my whole life until I moved out to California in 2000. He was very relatable. He's my age. What he went through, he was bullied. He couldn't fight back. And that whole kind of concept, rebooting it still had legs today. We talk about this all the time on social media, and the bullying and kids just fighting, and it seems to be everything on TikTok. People are still beating the crap out of each other, and unfortunately, but I knew it was going to hit because it had a sentimental attachment for people my age, but because they did the smart thing and turned it into a family drama. Daniel's older now, married, kids, and then these kids are going to go to karate class and do this kind of stuff. That would bring in the younger audience. So we were already hooked. I was like, I'm going to watch it because all the things that they brought up in the show, the flashbacks and all the people that were in it, it's all just a walk down memory lane for us. But to the extent where it was I think it was number one on Netflix, the number one highest rated show or highest performing show on Netflix, and number one to be the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai that was pretty special to be part of that, especially in the first season. And then I came back in the third.
LaRussos.
Tom Cole.
They did ask me to come back in the second season for an episode, but we talked about this before. As an actor, you want to get a job, book an airplane ticket. So unfortunately, I did another show. I guess started on another show the same week as they wanted me for Cobra Kai back in Atlanta. And I'm just like, come on, man, there's 52 weeks in a year. Why can't we do one week, one another week? Why do I gotta get two shows in the same week? But that's how it happens. But they were really generous to bring me back for the third season.
Fine. You want to play the violin on the Titanic? It's your funeral.
More Tom Cole is always welcome.
More
Absolutely.
Tom Cole.
Yes. Kate Maloney, thanks for being a channel member. Kate says, sounds like David is following in the footsteps of Alan Rickman when it comes to developing relatable villains.
Come on, Alan Rickman from Die Hard. Do you remember that? I'm an excellent thief, and I'll be in this day tomorrow. I'll be on the beach earning 20%. And then I loved him in Robin Hood when he's chasing after him, and he goes to the girl, the servant girl, and he goes,
"You, Myram, 10:30 tonight. You, 10:45. Bring a friend."
Oh, he was amazing. But that's exactly right. Thank you for that comment. But playing a relatable villain, they're always fun. Always fun.
They are. And Sasha David has an interesting comment. Tom Cole reminds me of Saul Goodman at times.
That's a really good one.
Yes, and I'm going to confess, I've had that in mind myself.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I.
Because I love this land we call home, I'm giving every new customer their very own drought-resistant cactus.
We're going to talk about this in a little bit. Marianella says we need a Cole family spinoff. As viewers know, we've dipped our toe into that waters, and we'll get back to that in just a minute. But that's something that Tom Cole reminds me of is Saul Goodman, for exactly the same reasons that you were talking about before. He does all these horrible things, but he's just entertaining.
Please. Oh, look at you. Should I call the FBI and tell them I found DB Cooper? Joking.
You know, and he's kind of a people pleaser, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you see that similarity as an actor, or are you coming at it from a completely different perspective?
It's funny because a different perspective, because the Saul Goodman, in comparison to Tom Cole, Saul is just a much broader character. Tom just has the dealership. We don't really know about Tom's home life. Is he married? Is he single? Is he divorced? Is he a player, or is he just all about money? There hasn't been a lot of backstory for him. Basically, that he's just a dealership across the street from his nemesis, and he does, douchey things. The cactus commercial, and it's an American plant, like just kind of like one-upping the guy across the street, which is entertaining and fun in its own way. But there's not a lot of deep story with Tom. But we tried to do a little bit, our little jaunt together, which was such a good time. That was so much fun to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Opened up the whole Cole family dynasty.
Right. Which, as viewers know, fans know, there are Coles out there. There's a Willie Cole that Terry Silver talks about in Karate Kid 3.
Who's the DA on the case?
Mr. Cole.
And we have Tom Cole. There are lots of Coles out there. And I think it would be interesting to shed a light on those Coles. That's just me.
Well, you did bring up the fact, the Easter egg for when he was in the jacuzzi. The episode, series, what was it? The Karate Kid 3, the Terry Silver one, where he was in the jacuzzi, and he does mention a Cole, I believe.
He does.
So that kind of like Easter egg kind of thing. But then you've taken that and you've added a whole big backstory of us working together, and then that incredibly funny Save Silver campaign that was sponsored by Cole Foundation,
paid for by Cole Associates for a Free America.
Right. So can I say that Tom Cole endorses the Save Silver campaign?
Absolutely, 100%. Yes.
Okay. That's wonderful. Well, for everyone who doesn't know, I had the great privilege of working with David on a short film called Cobra Cole. And this sort of takes this meta thing where my last name, of course, is Cole. And I'm kind of inserted into the Coles. Right. And we're kind of play with this idea that I do all this pro Terry Silver content. So maybe I work for Terry Silver and I don't want to anymore. And so I go to my cousin, Tom Cole, or Tommy, for help.
So I'm trying to figure out what this has to do with me. 1 minute.
I need a job. After I quit, I'm going to need a job. Your business is doing great. Uh-huh. I can help you sell.
No, Kenny. No.
You can hire me.
Kenny, I'm going to say something to you that even your own mother, God rest her soul, would agree with. You're bad news.
Oh my gosh. David, you're just so amazing.
Oh, you're sweet. It's fun.
And what was so fun is working with you on that and kind of exploring Tom Cole, or the Tom Cole type of character. What else would he be interested in doing? What would he be doing not at the dealership? Kind of giving even more background and color to this character who's maybe part of a wider tapestry. And you were absolutely phenomenal in that. And thank you for doing that.
Oh, well, thanks for asking. And hello on your set choice. I mean, you found location. I'm like, that's like some of the nicest locations I've ever been on. That house overlooking the valley like that was an amazing place. The Tom Cole is the next, when we go into the living room, and then you see his wheels spin where it's like, he needs a job. You're not going to get a job. And then it's like, but wait a minute.
Yes.
You're coming to me. We can do this together. I can make you my patsy. You go inside. You get me some dirt on the big T.
See, I think everybody's got a dirty little secret, even the big T. And you've been working with him for a long time now, so you gotta know something embarrassing, something that he would hate for the world to know.
Yeah, I love how you did this. The lawyers and the legal can't mention anybody's name, so we all know who the big T is. We know who the other Italian karate guy. That's funny. But that's the Tom Cole that I took a lot of joy in watching you squirm and ask me for a job, because it's all leverage. I've got everything. What do you want?
If you haven't seen Cobra Cole, there's a link in the description. You should see the whole thing.
It's only a couple more minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too long. Check it out. It's fun. And so of course that's based on this character, Tom Cole. And we had people asking questions about your experience on the show. Of course, we have I Am Evil Elena says, ask him if I can get a boba tea.
Yes. Never had a boba tea in my life, by the way. Never had one.
Really?
Yeah, never had a boba tea. Didn't even know what they were.
Well, okay, so when you were shooting that scene, whatever's in the cup, was that truly a boba tea or was that something
It
else?
was true boba tea, but I didn't drink it. Rule number one for actors out there: never eat or drink, because yeah, Harrison Ford had a great quote. When I'm in a restaurant scene, I just push my food around. I never eat. I just kind of play with it on my fork. Because if you ever notice in continuity, when people are drinking, you see like a wine glass and the levels here, and the next shot it comes back to them, it's full, and it comes down here, and it comes. Just don't touch it, because that helps for continuity. But I didn't sip it. Also, that was a ridiculously perfect casting of the straw when they put that. I don't know how long and big that straw was, but it was such a phallic.
After eating all that dick.
That was a personal choice, by the way, by set design, to give me a boba tea with a straw that was this big, because it's just annoying. Like, he holds it and he's like way down here, and it's another kind of subliminal, like, and I'm not sure what kind of language I can use, but what a D. Look at the straw he's even got. It's like, God, this guy.
Yeah. Oh man, but it's great. We love it. It's so
Yeah.
entertaining.
Totally.
Now CH Wheeler asks, how does it feel to play one of Daniel LaRusso's many arch enemies? And of course, he's got so many great classic enemies like Terry Silver and John Kreese, and your characters in that pantheon. What does it feel like to be in there?
Well, Ralph and I've never worked with Ralph before, and we actually, one of the most nicest, gracious actors. There's a thing that happens when you're a guest star on a show. So you show up on a show, and it basically happens during what they call lunchtime craft services, when the cast and crew is all dismissed at the same time, and everybody lines up and you get your food, and they have a bunch of tables and chairs put out. And it's a kind of a first day at school type of thing that happens. So you get your plate full of food, and then you decide, where am I going to sit? You don't know the crew. You're the guest star. You don't really know the series regulars or the actors. They're already been introduced, and they know each other. They've worked on a few episodes, so they've developed their kind of relationship. And you're just like, all right, so you kind of go off, and a lot of times you sit by yourself, or you take your stuff back to your trailer or your room if it's too crowded, or you just don't really know anybody, or because that's kind of like first day at school. You're a transfer student. Well, I'll tell you, I was in line with Ralph. Ralph was talking about the food, and we were chatting how good it was. And then he said, David, come sit with me. And, like I said, I've done quite a number of guest star shows on networks. I've been doing this like 30 something years. And that was the first time any series regular had ever just went, come over, sit with me. So I sat with him, and it wasn't about the show. It wasn't about anything more than how he grew up. We're the same age. Married, kids, where do you live? When did you move to LA? Just really nice, basic, life stuff. And he did say, I love this character that you're playing. And he goes, and I have to say, I'm kind of jealous because it's a character I like to play. He said, he goes, I'd love to play that kind of like snarky a-hole, douchey kind of guy. They're so much fun to play. I was like, well, Ralph, if you'd like to switch, we can totally do that if you want. But we had a great time. But to be in that pantheon, it's very gracious of you to say, and I appreciate that. But it's nice to just be in the family of this whole kind of thing, this animal that has taken off, and just be part of it. It's an honor, and that's not. I don't take lightly because as a guest star, I'm a scale plus 10 journeyman actor. I've been doing it for 32 years now. It's been my only job, and I take every single gig with full graciousness and be grateful.